too?
No, I got it.
Okay. You stole my thunder over
Yeah.
there. All right. Check, check. Good evening, everybody.
Good
Welcome
evening.
to the October 2nd, 2024 Master Plan Committee meeting. Tonight's meeting will be held at the Municipal Building, Town Council Chambers, on the second floor of 355 East Central Street, tonight at 6:30, time being 6:32 for the record. A note to residents, all citizens are welcome to attend public board and committee meetings in person. The meetings will also be live streamed by Franklin TV, and recordings of meetings are available on Franklin TV's Franklin Town Hall TV YouTube channel. And additionally, in an effort to maximize citizen engagement opportunities, citizens will be able to continue to participate remotely via phone or Zoom. The link to access tonight's meeting is on the agenda. The meeting link as follows, or copy and paste the URL into your browser. The call-in number for tonight, the phone number is 1-929-205-6099, and enter the meeting ID 857-2847-1391, and then press pound. Again, that number is 1-929-205-6099, and enter the meeting ID 857-2847-1391, and press the pound sign. All right. So first thing on our agenda tonight is approval of meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion
So
to
moved.
approve the minutes of, what is it?
What's the date again?
Our last minute?
Yes. Right here. Amy, what are those minutes?
September. Motion to approve the minutes from September
Third.
3rd.
Yes, that was the last meeting we had.
No, it's
Septem-
September 4th. Oh, no, we did
Yeah.
Tuesday. We did Tuesday.
Yeah, it was
you're
Tuesday,
right. September 3rd.
September 3rd.
I made a motion to
And
approve the minutes
do
from
we have a
September
second?
3rd.
All right, roll call?
Roll call. Bruce.
Yes.
Oh, Janelle's online now. Meg?
I was not here, so I will
No.
abstain.
Okay. Gino?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Janelle?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Melanie, yes. Chair?
Yes,
Yes.
excellent. Thank you.
7 yes, 1 abstain.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Second on our agenda for tonight is review of comments for the implementation plan. I'll send that over to you, Amy, if you want to start off.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I really, again, want to appreciate the Master Plan Committee for putting together the implementation plan. 35 pages. I think we got a really good response back. We got some really good positive feedback. I know a lot went into it, and a lot of time went into it to this committee and the subcommittees, and I really appreciate that. I was able to sit down face to face with some of the department heads, which really gave some really good feedback on it. I sat down with our town administrator, I sat down with DPW, facilities, Park and Rec, conservation. Their library was satisfied with it, police was satisfied with no changes. There's about 1 or 2 other department heads that might have some feedback that I don't have for you tonight, but as soon as I get that, I will share it with you guys. So each of the, what I had done is I received each of their feedback in separate documents. I have provided a consolidated document by page number, by action number, and by goals. Obviously, it doesn't apply to every single subcommittee, so I was just trying to put it together so that they could see that we're, obviously there's a couple duplicate things, and there were a couple comments were the same from one department to the other. And then I did have conservation, I just kind of put separately, that was a little bit longer. Also, I know that a lot of, in the implementation plan, when I was going through it, is a lot of the responsibilities were kind of blank, or might not have been accurate, so that's kind of more on myself and staff to update the responsibilities. So I'm not looking for the master plan committee to figure out who's doing what, unless
Okay.
a committee, unless a department head, a few of them suggested themselves and said, put me on this and I should be added to this. And those are the ones that, you know, I'll take care of in adding them in the implementation plan. I think, and again, I also apologize because I know you guys just got it today. So this is a lot of work for the subcommittees to move forward, and hopefully the subcommittees in the next few weeks can put together a meeting and go through what pertains to each of them. So what we've done is giving you the overview of the feedback. I think it's really good feedback. I don't know if it completely, it doesn't make a huge change, I think, in the implementation plan, because this committee's done such a great job in putting together the plan. You know, some of this is short term, some of this is medium term, and some of it's long term. You know, they're kind of the funny things when I sat down with DPW, he's like, you've got the roundabouts, you've got the rotaries, you've got the turnarounds, he's like, now they're referred to roundabouts, and only roundabouts. So just some of that stuff that were in the comments. And I'll also defer to the chairman as moving forward with how the subcommittees would like to incorporate the changes that have come through. And I don't want to necessarily update our main document, but somehow get the comments back to myself, the chairman, or whatever the chairman prefers, and if there's any disagreement or changes or recommendations, I think that would be probably the next steps in completing the implementation plan for the draft.
Thank you, Amy. Excuse me. Just to reiterate what Amy just said, for any subcommittees, chairs who are wishing to put forth any changes after the subcommittees have an opportunity to review what the various department heads had to say, if you could put that into a, whatever your preferred method is, if it's a Word document, or if it's an Excel spreadsheet, or if it's in something that's a fairly easy format for Amy to interpret, she can actually take all of that feedback from your subcommittees and directly make the changes to the main document, the implementation herself. That way we're not getting like too many chefs in the kitchen making changes to the main document. And I believe, Amy, that was your preference, to try to just keep it on you to update that.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that. I appreciate that. I think just if anything, going through it and trying to pick up the comments, it's just maybe either stating the page number.
Right.
And most important is the action item number, whether it's TC 1.3B or CSFC, 5.2A. Just referring to that specific item really does help in incorporating the changes.
Very good. So I think, excuse me, please excuse me, I've been talking all day, my voice is a little froggy, but I think I'd like to throw it out to the sitting members here tonight to kind of get your opinions on the next steps for the comments. My thoughts, and I'll just throw it out there, is that we take what we've gotten back with some additional feedback we're still waiting on, Amy, if I'm correct.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Yes, and if anything comes directly, I will send it as soon as possible. I think I've probably hit on the majority of the staff that has the most involved, so it's probably, but as soon as, if anything comes through, it'll go directly to either the subcommittee or the entire committee to take a look at.
My thoughts on the matter would be to take the feedback that we have, plus whatever additional information is going to be coming forth, and push them down to each individual subcommittees to address them at their level, and kind of make comments and changes based on what how each subcommittee feels they should review this feedback, change whatever is necessary at their level, and then kind of push those changes in Amy's direction so that she can make those changes directly into the implementation plan. And then we can come back on our next scheduled date and talk about those changes. What does everyone think of that point?
Makes sense.
The only reason I say that is because if we were to spend tonight kind of with the small group that we have, kind of going through this list individually, I don't see how that's gonna be very fruitful, since much of this information, we have to kind of sit down. Everybody hasn't really had an opportunity yet to kind of to chew through it, to chew on it a little bit, kind of see what these comments are. This will give each chair an opportunity, maybe a week, to kind of digest some of this, and then put together a subcommittee meeting where you'll have an opportunity to sit down and reflect these changes into your various content areas. Does that sound logical?
So, Mr. Chairman, just
Yes.
to confirm, we don't want us to be editing anything else in the document going forward. All changes will go through Amy, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. But Amy, along those lines, Amy, like Megan, for instance, and Kobe, and a few of the other members have actually been making just comments, but not edits into that Google document. Is that still something
I've made a lot of them.
they're capable of? Well, is that, because they're not direct edits per se, they're just kind of
Right.
comments to the side. Are those comments kind of too busy for you, or should they just kind of hold off making any further little notations
I've
like
been
that?
doing it as you suggested, as doing the like suggestions for edit, so it does edit it, but it annotates what we've done and then highlights it in green instead of the lovely writing.
Yeah, so I think that we had planned to do that like prior to it going out to department staff. I think at this point, it might get complicated if there's too many of those.
Right.
I mean, I don't have a problem like sending me an email, like, you guys might have questions, like, why did they say this comment? You know, why is this so-and-so's responsibility? That it might be easier, even if you did your own, you didn't use the exact, comment document that we sent to you, even if you just sent me either an email or, as Sharon said,
Right.
a spreadsheet or Word document would be a little bit more helpful, only because if some of the subcommittees have the same questions and cross questions, that we can match them up to, or changes, or the same changes or something that we could do, might be a little bit easier, than going through, I don't know how much comments are gonna come back from the subcommittees, which is great, I appreciate all the feedback, it's great. But if it gets to that, there's like 50 or 60 of those comments down there, it might get a little complicated.
Well, would it be logical then to take these comment resolution matrix sheets that have already been filled in, and maybe either add a separate column, or even give each subcommittee their own resolution sheets for them to fill in, and kind of take these changes and make the changes? And in other words, what's gonna be easiest for you is really what
So
I'm concerned about.
if this makes sense to the committee, I really think that, if we took this document, I don't really need the current status or consultant respond, but if I just took out those two columns and had just put it has subcommittee response,
Right.
and just made it that way, that I could resend this as a Word document, so you already have all of it, and you can, and if it doesn't apply to you, then you just leave it blank.
Right.
And so I could resend all of these, and readjust these two columns and just have subcommittee comments, if that's, works for the committee.
You guys feel that's a logical approach? Will that suit, I guess I'm really putting this out towards the chairs, will that suit your needs to try to get the feedback in a logical way?
Yes.
Rick, you okay with that? Gina?
Glenn, could I just ask Amy?
Hold on one second. Janelle, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, my God.
Just if you want to make sure that this process isn't creating too much extra work on your end, than having to incorporate all the changes that we're then commenting and suggesting. That was my only thought too, was,
No, not at all, thank you for asking. No, I mean, we have we basically, you're looking at two documents, so you're looking at all the combined comments, and then I had conservation separately, which I don't mind, and actually, I ran out of time. honestly. That came in late. I could add in conservation all in one document, put it in so that you're just going through. Basically, it'll look like you're going through this document.
Right.
Again, and everything, and, you know, you skip over stuff, you know, I'm meeting with some of the departments and they're like, that has nothing to do with me. I'm like, yeah, that's right, you don't even look at that section.
Right.
So I could revise the main combined document, put in the conservation, and then, and resend it, and I can get it out this week.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. I think that's a
Good idea, actually. Now, just for kind of a little bit of redundancy, is when you send out the email with those changes, send them to all the members of the committee, not necessarily just to the chairs, just so everybody has a
I will.
copy of them and has a means to review what all of those various comments are, as well as understand what their next steps are. All right, anybody have any further questions, comments? Now, Amy, I've got a couple of questions on these, on this feedback. One of which is, I know when we first proposed sending this out to all the various department heads back on the 3rd of September, we gave them until roughly the 28th to try to get as much of this feedback to us. How was their response to that? What was the general feel or feedback from the various department heads and individuals to which you spoke to? I know you said it to me, but I like everyone else.
Like per the deadline?
Well,
or
just in general, as far as how they felt about what we have so far, and what their, you know, if that was really enough time for them to comment.
Well, the first few weeks I didn't hear back from a lot of people, but then I reached out directly to the department heads, and I got great feedback. So they did respond in a very timely manner. Meeting with them directly helped as well. That's what I pretty much did. It's just scheduled face-to-face meetings with them. And Lily brought the plan, and they had the plan, and went through it. I didn't have anyone complain about the deadline once I reached out face-to-face. And a lot of us in town hall, that's kind of how we work. We're here, you know, 7-8 hours a day, and we just walk around, hey, what do you I need this, I need that. So that worked out really well, and I think that if any subcommittee or committee member needed a department staff there for any questions, I let them know. We can reach out to them directly, you can reach out through me, questions, or you can send it through me, and I'll go to them directly. I basically go face-to-face again and say, hey, they had these questions, and it's probably the quickest way, because not everyone's, you know, except for like DPW and facilities, they're all over the place, they're not always in front of their email, so I'm more than willing to help out if there's specific questions that need to be directed at staff, or feel free to reach out to staff directly too.
Excellent. Thank you, Amy. And please send my thank yous to all the various departments and department heads for taking their time out of their busy schedules to review and give us their feedback. That is absolutely one of the most crucial parts of this master plan, was getting that information. And I just let them know I truly appreciate that. I appreciate their hard work. The whole committee is very thankful for their time and effort that's gone into getting everything to this point. I know it was a lot of work, and I appreciate you. That's another thing I want to comment on, is thank you for all the hard work that you've been putting in, chasing everybody down around the building. You know, I know Jamie can be kind of hard to tie down, and
They all are.
they all are. But
No, it was great. It was really beneficial to do that, and I think actually, I'll compliment a lot of the subcommittee chairs, because they did that previous to developing this plan and meeting with them and and that really was a huge bonus to making this plan get to where it's at, being able to spend that time with the department heads, because had subcommittees not had that time, this would have been more difficult to get to this point, so appreciate the subcommittees and the staff being able to meet with them.
perfect.
I got a question, Glenn.
Go right ahead, Bruce.
Amy, the three documents that you emailed out today, there's one, the comments resolution matrix. I guess you fill that out as a member of the DPCD. And then the other one you sent out was a combined comments resolution matrix. And it doesn't really say that everybody was there, but we do assume that all the other departments are commenting on these three pages here.
Yeah, so Bruce, the combined one, I kind of described it in my email, but the combined ones was all the department heads that provided the feedback, except for conservation. That one came in separate just because I honestly didn't have enough time to throw it in to get it out to you guys today, but I'm gonna combine it tomorrow. Responsibility was mainly, myself and what I heard from department heads. So if DPW or facilities mentioned like, well, I should be part of this or I shouldn't. Actually, our Department of Rec mentioned a couple things he wanted to be added to. So I just kind of included it in a separate document because it's more going to be on myself and department heads to determine that than so much this committee. Unless this committee doesn't agree on responsibilities or anything, but just trying to fulfill who's taking responsible for what.
Okay, I was just trying to figure it out. It really didn't say where it came from, but
Yeah, that,
maybe it did in your email. Maybe it did in your email. I didn't read your email. I just read the,
Oh, okay. No,
the
did that
attachments.
answer your question?
Yeah, I just wondered where all the information, where all these comments come. And Glenn, I think it's proper that the subcommittees get a chance to get a whack at these things, whether they want to accept them or not accept them. Just because they're in there doesn't mean that we might want them.
Well, absolutely.
And what?
No, I said, well, absolutely. I was agreeing with
Yeah.
you.
Oh, okay. And, other than that, yeah, it's going to take a minute to go through it. And good thing they're all, Janelle and Kobe, as part of the land use, not the land use, but the housing part there, he made a lot of notes, while we were talking about it, like Janelle does the same thing. And I think that, we're just about done, other than review these comments with some more comments, whether we like them or not. So, at least that's my opinion.
Thank you, Bruce. I can appreciate that. Janelle, did you have any comments? I didn't want to leave you out.
No, thank you, Amy, for sending it out. I looked at ours and they feel fairly straightforward. So I think, like Bruce said, we should be able to have a subcommittee meeting and we'll respond to these.
Perfect.
And Amy, if you and Brian want to be at that, because I assume the comments related to land use are from
Yes.
DPCD.
Yes, they are. No, and yes, I'm more than willing if anyone reaches out and wants me to attend one. I will definitely make time to attend the subcommittee meeting. So yes, that might be helpful too. And like I said, I can attend the other subcommittee meetings as well. Try to answer for first staff, but I can't always answer for other departments. But yes, please do.
Anything else, Janelle?
No, that's
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Just for the record, Jen Williams is here. Jen, just to kind of get you up to speed on.
I was online.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. Then you
Multi,
know. Do you have any comments or
Multitasking.
anything and do you have any comments in regards to the newly minted comment sheets that we got today?
no, I agree with the group with whatever's best way to handle it, and Janelle as our chairs.
Perfect.
All good.
Jen?
Excuse me, I'm like out of breath.
Don't worry.
Running upstairs.
Me too. All right.
Everyone is.
So-
I'm not from field hockey.
To end agenda item number 2 in regards to review comments for the implementation plan, I think it's from feedback from the committee, the general consensus is to move these comments as well as any additional comments that are coming directly to the various subcommittees. So to Rick and Kobe and Gino and Megan and Janelle, with these various subcommittees, Amy will be reaching out to you via email with these sheets the variations to the sheet that we spoke about tonight. And if you're if you could take an opportunity to meet or discuss with your various members, the opportunity to have a meeting, sometime by when, Amy? What are you ultimately looking for? Do you feel one or maybe two meetings would be necessary, or just the one? To try to, actually, I'd throw that out to the chairs. Do you guys think that it would be, one meeting would be enough, or two meetings may be necessary to kind of hash these out? I don't wanna put too much burden on the subcommittees. I know it's October, and it's a crazy month.
No, just from reviewing the comments that are on there, I think they're pretty quick
Just-
updates, so from our perspective, I think one for our
Okay.
subcommittee would be sufficient.
Rick, you
We
agree?
can get away with one, we only really have to go over the economic development section.
Okay.
A little bit of housing tweaking, but
Gina?
Definitely one with that.
Okay. Janelle, would you agree on one?
One.
Okay, she's agreed
Yep.
on one. Perfect, so we can actually move on from the second one. So basically, each chair, if you could, take the time to reach out to your members of each subcommittee, try to set up a meeting probably next week at some point, just to kind of review, sit down and make the changes that you can. If you need more time, obviously, schedules dictate how things get done. Other than that, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, is there a due date by which we need to have these comments back?
Amy? That's actually what's our next topic, right?
I was just
Okay.
gonna
Yep.
say that.
Yep.
I
So,
know Kobe's not here, but that's what he would ask,
Nope.
right? What's the due
I was just
date?
gonna say, that leads into,
So,
the next
that
item on the
does,
agenda.
that's it. So, just for the record, our next agenda item is next steps in future meeting dates,
Okay, I got it.
where we will be talking about that exactly. Amy, let's start it off with you. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Actually, was kind of working with Beta and Barrett on how we, we're we're winding down and we're getting to the end of this, and they're prepared on their end, and so we're kind of waiting on this. If we look at, put it in your packets tonight for the timeline, they did have for October 16th. However, we know that we're not meeting that night. It's a town council meeting. So the next meeting would be October 23rd. So hopefully prior to October 23rd, if it's possible for the subcommittees to have all their comments back. By then, I don't know, be optimistic, but the 5-page sheet you might get might be narrowed down to one or two. Whether you agree with the comment or you still have questions, or I can work it out in between. I guess I would put at what's realistic for the subcommittees to get meetings in the next week or two. And then depending on that, if the 23rd is not realistic to discuss that night, we could actually make a deadline of having it that night where we could still meet on some other items, some other outstanding last minute items to start finalizing the plan. That night, we could start thinking about preparing for the public outreach, when we want to put that out there, sending it to the boards that are also going to be addressed, and planning for the future meetings. So we could still hold a meeting on the 23rd. I guess I would like some feedback on when is 2 weeks realistic, or maybe October 25th, that would be the Friday, that, we meet I don't know if the following Wednesday, that's the 30th. If
Well,
that's the night
Well, it's
before,
it's 3
or the
weeks.
first week of November.
Well, it's 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
It's 3 weeks until the 23rd, but it's 2 weeks
Yeah.
to fit in a meeting and get comments
Right,
back.
right.
Basically, is what she's
It's
getting.
3 weeks
Yeah.
to the 23rd.
I have to throw that out to the chairs. Meg, how do you feel about that? Do you think that's enough? Do you think that's enough time to put together a subcommittee meeting, make the changes according to the feedback, and then come back on the 23rd to say basically, okay, we're ready to kind of
I think that time
move on?
works.
Gino,
Definitely, yes.
you agree? Rick,
I think we can make it work.
we can make it work. Janelle?
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna be away the week of the 14th, so it would have to be next week, but I'll reach out to the group and see what we can do.
Very good. Amy, you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine. I think that's a good plan, that we get as many comments back as we can prior to that meeting. we can discuss any outstanding items at meeting and also discuss moving forward.
So again, I know it's a short window of time, but you know, what else would fall be if we weren't in a crunch with
Yeah.
most things, right? Tell me about it. So I guess my concern now really kind of boils down to you and your group, being able to take whatever feedback you get from the subcommittees when that does occur, and being able to effectively make those changes in a timely fashion in order for them to be available for the October 23rd meeting.
Yes,
Is that
yeah,
a doable thing?
that's a doable
Okay.
thing.
I just don't want anyone to feel pressured or pushed, because again, this is not something that we definitively have to hold to, but it'd be nice if we could stay on schedule. All right, Amy, as far as the rest of the project
So,
timetable and expectations that Barrett sent us here?
Did we, wait a minute, so ideally it would be possibly the 18th or the 21st to get everything back so that we can consolidate it and get final draft to you for the 23rd.
So that,
The 20,
do you want to, so the 8th, do you think of the 18th?
yeah, it's Friday, that might be tight, if not the 21st at the latest.
Well, the 21st would push us to the
Monday.
Tuesday, right? So
Monday.
that-
Monday.
Or the
Monday.
Monday, well, it would give them
Monday.
the weekend, maybe, because a lot of times it's
Mhm.
hard for people to, so weekend, at least giving,
Mhm.
since we're volunteers, giving us the weekend to maybe
Right.
break some time off and kind of fill that information in by a Friday. Friday might be hard.
It might be hard. I mean,
For-
if the committee's ready and they can get it to me by then,
Yeah,
and then if they got it to me by the 21st, we'll probably be looking at it.
On the calendar.
mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm doing too. Pulling up my calendar. All right, yep, 21st being a Monday. I think that's doable. You get him at 20, wow, that's,
I asked, that's why I asked the subcommittees.
That's 2 days for you.
Yeah, it'll be tight.
yeah. that would be
But
2
if
days.
I give, I'm definitely gonna work with Beta and Bear on it, and I give them a heads up,
Mhm.
we'll schedule our calendars, free our calendars for that time frame,
Oh, yeah.
for
And
that
also-
day.
Mhm.
Also-
You know, that we'll just schedule our calendars to be free that day and be able to put this together.
Okay, if you feel
Mhm.
you can do that,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it, but like I said, I just certainly don't want to overburden you or anyone else.
No,
But-
from the feedback I'm hearing, there may not be much.
Okay.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, good.
There may or may not be, but,
Well, I agree,
you
there's not
know,
much,
and-
but, you know,
I think it's great to get as much feedback as we can.
Mhm.
There may still be a few outstanding items come the
Okay.
23rd.
and we can always tweak that as we go.
That still may be in question, and that's okay, and we can still go to, public meetings with a few of those outstanding items.
Mhm.
You know, but as much as we can get this towards a final draft,
Mhm.
you know, that'd be great. And I know this has been long time coming, and I know you guys are working really hard on it, so I just think we just need to plug away
Yep, I agree.
and keep pushing along, and I'll plan time for it, and I can give,
Get
yes,
it, and
yes,
we'll,
exactly, Mel.
Let's
We'll-
finish, let's go.
we'll-
Yes,
we'll-
let's go.
we'll get it done, we
Let's
will,
go.
we'll get it done,
We're
so.
almost
Like I
there,
said,
we're almost there.
With this amount of time
Yep.
frame, I can give Beta and Bear a heads up, be like, don't do anything on the 21st, cause
Right.
this
Okay.
is what we're gonna do,
Yep.
and they can plan their schedule that way.
So,
That's
moving on to the October 28th date, that says, we'll talk about that, that's what Barrett's
Yep,
plans are.
yeah, because then,
I'm sorry, did you have a comment, Mel? I apologize.
I have a question, because we went by the 10-16 dates here.
Oh,
Right, and I just wanted Amy to have a chance to explain, like what the community engagement chapter, because we have to do comments back by the 25th.
Okay.
Is what their schedule is.
Yep.
So I just want to give Amy a chance to comment on that before we went to the 28th.
fair
Is
enough,
that okay?
yes.
okay, so that kind of relates to what we're working on right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. So the 16th will be moved to the 23rd, both those dates that they've
Right.
put
Okay.
on this.
Yeah,
Community
16th.
engagement would be the same thing to look at the final, implementation plan. So going down to the 28th, which is probably a good date, because if we get as much back on the 23rd,
Mm-hmm.
then I can hand it back to Beta and Barrett for that, and then, start finalizing it on the 30th, even if the 30th moved to the first week of November.
So in regards to 1028, just really quickly, just for the record and for everyone here and on the committee, BPG compiles the complete draft report, including the introduction. I believe you and I discussed, I'll write the introduction. And Barrett's gonna work on the community engagement and inventory and assessment, key issues, and implementation plan. I did offer my time and expertise for helping kind of draft the document, making it look like a presentable document, or even presentations, PowerPoints, anything that goes with that portion as well. So ultimately, my apologies, to go on to 10:30, you want to talk about that portion, and then I'll make my final comment. Okay. So what's 10:30?
Yeah, so 10:30 would be, from 10:28 to compile that,
Yeah.
would be to get to the final draft to the master plan committee, that would go out to the public. So the
Right.
master plan committee gets to
So-
see it prior to going out to our public meetings.
Right.
And that would be the 10:30, and then putting in the public review time.
Right.
Um,
So one of the things, and excuse me, Amy,
No, go ahead.
stopping there for a second, is throwing this out to the committee for something for us to think about is, and this is kind of a discussion point that Amy and I had been having on the side, is what would be the best way to kind of put this information out to the public? Just by way of example, the 2013 master plan was actually posted on the town's website. And people were able to go there, click on it, read it, review it. I'm not exactly 100% certain what their avenues were for getting feedback on that back in 2013, Amy, but if you could ask Brian what they did. But in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, I think that's kind of pigeonholing it, just kind of putting it in a dark corner and saying, hey, look at me. When this actually gives us an opportunity for this period of 11/4 to 11/25, which I know is a very busy time of the year, to maybe put together some kind of presentations at the library, the senior center, maybe here in the council chambers or someplace out in the public, so people actually have an opportunity to be engaged with this draft, instead of just kind of, buried on the town's website. I was just kind of throwing that out to you guys, just to think about as we get closer to that point. It's not something we have to give feedback on tonight, but just as we get closer.
Yeah, drop us an email if you guys have some ideas. I mean, we'll probably do the QR code, we can develop an email, like a lot of the web pages have right now, and town council has one, planning board would have one that they could even just go on, send an email, the master plan at franklinandma.gov, to collect a lot of the feedback too, so those are some of the ideas that,
Perfect. Thank you, Amy. I'm sorry, go on. So it's 11:26 now? On the
11:26.
On the first page.
Yep, so that would bring us to planning board staff and, master plan committee reviewing the comments. A lot of that will probably, that'll be getting the planning board staff the draft copy and planning them to review it before a final presentation goes to them in January. So that will pretty much be me, bringing that to the board and sharing that with the board. We'll give an update on Monday night. And then hoping for some time in January to schedule getting the approval. Might be more towards the end of January for the approval of the master plan. It's technically does not need town council approval, but it can go to town council after the planning board.
Yes, that's what we
Yeah.
did last time.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and this note, if any of the above tasks warrant any more time, this is actually directly from Beta or Barrett, by either the master plan committee or by BPG or Beta for any reason that would be beneficial for the completion of the final report and agreed upon by the town and BPG, Beta, and date planning board approval may be moved to February 2025. Again, that's if necessary. Comment, just kind of just covering our bases type of thing on that. All right. Any comments, questions on the updated timeline for myself or Amy? You guys are,
I know.
you guys are too easy.
We don't have Kobe here
I
tonight.
know, everyone's like, yeah.
We're gonna pull Kobe in actually on a lot of this, cause he's got the, he's also the chair of a subcommittee, so.
Yeah,
He knows all the deadlines.
yeah, he does. And he's not here to make comment tonight too, unfortunately. Bruce or Janelle, any comments on the project timeline?
Motion to adjourn,
timetable, or
that's what you're looking
expectations?
for.
I didn't understand. Say what?
It's a motion to adjourn.
Oh, no, we're not there yet, because I still have a couple of comments to make.
No comment on the timeline. Sounds good to me.
Thank you, Janelle. One of the things, and I know this might seem petty, but it's an important detail, is there's still a list of photos that are requested.
Yeah.
So there's this list of photos that were requested by Vader and Barrett to put into the final document. Now, that was storefronts downtown, people walking on sidewalks, people biking on streets and bike paths, train station, parking areas, various types of housing, people enjoying open space, wildlife and conservation, any photos people have of the community, farm stands, harvest day, touch a truck, etc. So if anybody had pictures from the Harvest Festival or anything that they want to put into the Google Drive, for pictures that could end up in the master plan document, that would be key, because we really don't want, the open space and recreation to get all of the cool pictures.
No, we don't.
I thought you were
I
gonna
know,
say, we
exactly.
really don't want the Williams family in every single photo, because I put a ton of photos in the drive a long time ago. So I guess,
And
I
every
guess we're
photo
just
is
sick of
gonna
our
have the Williams
kids.
family?
Yeah. Did you put photos in?
I didn't, but I will.
Okay.
Noted,
So-
so that can be the Williams and.
I'll put
Higgins.
some
Yeah,
stuff. I have a lot of good
Williams,
stuff.
Gallagher's,
Yep,
Higgins.
and Alan.
Halloween party at
If
At
you've
the
got, if
library.
you've got any photos or anything, or if you know anybody that's got like photographs from around town, shoot them to Amy. We could put them in the drive, with your permission, anything that, actually goes out to anybody. For anybody who puts the photographs in, it's just basically, we'll give you due credit with just a little name on the bottom, and it'll end up in the master plan. So, all right,
Good reminder.
thank you. I had to bring that up because that was on my list
I always
of
forget.
things here that we had to do. All right, Bruce, now you can say it.
Motion to adjourn.
We need,
Second,
Nope.
all right,
Wait,
roll call.
question.
No,
sorry.
Oh,
wait.
sorry.
Is there an opportunity for comment or question from the public in this meeting? Or
oh, yes, of course. That's one thing, I apologize. Sorry, Bruce, we're not adjourned.
Almost.
Absolutely. I didn't see you raise your hand.
Well, I wasn't sure when to raise it. And
Oh.
it's polite.
Absolutely. For these,
I'm gonna sit down just 'cause it's
kind of
better.
informal
Microphone.
type of meetings. go
Real
right ahead.
briefly, I'm Alan Earls from the Historical Commission.
Hey,
I'm
Alan.
at 23 Marvin Avenue. The Historical Commissioners have directed me to write to our town manager and request that at the earliest possible opportunity, we form a study committee for historical preservation in town, which is the process outlined by the Massachusetts Historical Commission and I think by the legislature for creating historical districts.
Yeah.
And he said, sounds good to me, but check with Amy and see if it's in the master plan. And she said it is, but he also said, come to a meeting and make sure I raise the question. So I just want to make sure that that does not conflict with anything you folks are doing. I don't think it does. It takes a long time to get the wheels rolling anyway. So if
Yeah.
we start now, maybe by this time next year, something will be happening. But we're planning to move forward with that. And just wanted to check and see if you have any thoughts, concerns that I should take back to the commission. And then secondarily, I don't know if you talked about meeting the department heads. I don't know if you've reached out to our one-person department, Archivist Rowan, just to see if we have anything to add to what you're doing. We'd be happy to be consulted if that seems feasible. That's all I have.
Amy, would you mind following up with the archivist? Would that be?
No, I definitely can, so I don't have access to the department head email, it goes through the TA. She should be on it as a department
Should,
head,
but she kind
so
of gets
she
lost in the shuffle because we're a teeny department.
Yeah, I know,
But
I
I'll
understand.
ask her
I
and
will,
ask Jamie to see
I
if we
can,
contact.
I can reach out and send it to
Okay,
her and
that'd
take
be
a look at it, yeah,
Thank you.
if she'd like to review
Sure.
that part of it, definitely. Thank you for bringing that up, that's a
Sure.
good point.
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, if you, unless you have
Yeah.
I can't
anything
make
else.
a motion to adjourn, but maybe Bruce can make it.
Oh,
I just, through the
Yes,
chair, I
Jenna.
mean, just to your point, Alan, about the historical commission, and Janelle's online, so she could chime in, but we do, I think what would be helpful for us is maybe to understand exactly the process that you're going through. We have, that is part of the land use
Yep.
and zoning subcommittee
Right.
kind of goals and then implementation, and so
Sure.
it falls,
So,
yeah, and I think there's some overlap, so it's definitely included.
Okay.
We could just probably use your insight and
Sure, I
to
can
specifics of
contact you
the
or
implementation
Janelle.
part of
Janelle.
it. Which Janelle is the chair
Yeah, I
of
see.
the
All right, I'll be in
Land
touch,
Use and
Janelle.
Zoning Subcommittee.
And,
And
yeah,
also-
it's all outlined by the Mass Historical Commission, which is part of the government, so I'll share that with you with all the appropriate things to
Yeah.
look at.
And also Meg.
I was gonna say, we can also include, for our subcommittee as well, with natural, cultural, and historic resources, if it falls under that as well, so.
Okay, thanks.
I'll align on that, thank you.
Cool.
excellent.
Yeah, I'll just chime in and thank you, Alan, for mentioning that, because one of the things that I think we'll be talking about in our next meeting, we felt strongly about it, so we had as an action item in the master plan to establish a district. And the comment we got back was to review and consider a district. And I
Yep.
thought, well, let's talk about how challenging this is. Do we really aim to take this on in the next 10 years? As a subcommittee, I think we feel yes, but wanted to talk it through with DPCD and perhaps
Sure.
historical as well.
And I can share a lot of information I have on that with you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All set, Alan? Thanks, Alan. All right, any other further comments, statements? All right, Bruce, back to you again.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, Bruce,
Yes.
Meg,
Yes.
Gino,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Janelle,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Al, me, yes, Glenn,
Yes,
yes, all
we're,
in favor.
we are adjourned.
Non-
Have a good night.
non-debatable.
Non-debatable, as Tom would say. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.